Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In our last episode, we launched the Duna mission, and today we are going to continue it. Here we are, approaching the Duna and going into aerobraking around it. Our periapsis is approximately 15,000 meters, but in case it's not enough, we got enough fuel to brake normally. And here we are, doing our low orbit signs. And it feels like we are not going to aerobrake into the orbit. So let's just do a little burn with our main engine. And it should be sufficient to do the orbit around the Duna. Right? Let's jettison it, because it's already empty. I think we could go for the landing, but I don't really feel like it. It kinda... we don't have enough fuel to be safe. And here you saw me trying to aerobrake again, but apparently our periapsis fell down too much, so I had to quick load. So, if we are not going to land on Duna, we are going to at least encounter Ike and do the signs in the Ike orbit. Let's create our maneuver node. It is fairly easy, because Ike's sphere of influence is very big. And let's do the burn. We have approximately 2.8 thousand meters delta V. I'm not sure if it's enough for doing any landing missions, so I'm not going to risk it. I think if our last stage had little asparagus design, then it would be 100% possible to do landing on both Duna and Ike, but we don't have it, so we're not going to force the landing and not going to straddle our brave carbonate on the surface. Here we are in orbit around Ike. So let's do the usual scientific stuff. Namely, we have material science, we have a mystery goo, and we have a couple of thermometers. So let's lower our orbit. We want something nice, approximately 20 kilometers, maybe even less. According to the data, highest point on Ike is approximately 13,000 meters, so everything above it should be in order, and we shouldn't crash into the planet. So here we are, 20 on 25 kilometers orbit, and let's do our final scientific stuff. Take another temperature reading, and now we can think about getting home. So let's do the maneuver of returning from the moon to the planet by simply burning retrograde to the direction of moon orbit. Now let's circularize our orbit around the Duna. And now we'll have to wait until the Duna Kerbin transfer window. So let's do the time warp, but we can't do it right now because our orbit is too low. So let's change it a little bit to make sure that we can use the 100 times acceleration. Here we are, raising our periapsis first, and then we'll raise our apopsis. And done. Now we just have to wait for 100 days, and due to the magic of time warp and video editing, it will only take us mere seconds. Afterwards, we're going to do the same maneuver as if we were returning from the moon, but this time we will travel within the system. So let's find our orbit and let's burn retrograde into the direction of Duna travel. And immediately we have a close encounter and the capture. All we have to do now is tweak it a little bit to make sure that our periapsis is within the Kerbin atmosphere. 20 kilometers should be more than sufficient. And because we are just returning home, we don't care if we are going into the equatorial, polar, prograde, retrograde orbit. It doesn't really make any difference. All we need to do is to get within the atmosphere. And this maneuver looks good. So let's create an alarm and let's time warp to it. And burn. As you can see, we'll have some delta V left, but I don't think that the amount we got would have been sufficient to do the landing on either Ike or Duna. It could have been that we would land, but we will end up stranded around the Sun or Duna. And our maneuver is almost done. Let's just tweak it a little bit. It's not as precise as I wanted, but that's enough. So, time to time warp. Leaving the Duna behind and going for the Kerbin, aka returning home. Our Kerbinauts have to spend approximately 2 months alone in the capsule without moving. It's a good thing that they are not humans and they are not suffering from the lack of gravity, lack of food, lack of air, and other vital things which we need. So here we are in the approach orbit to the Kerbin, and all we have to do now is tweak our periapsis to make sure that we end up in the orbit and in the atmosphere. Just a little time warp, small alignment, and 200 meters per second burn, which leaves us with 770 meters per second delta V, and that's definitely not enough to get off the Duna. Might have been enough to get off the Ike, but we will definitely land on both Duna and Ike in one of the following episodes. Maybe the next one, maybe not the next one, but we will definitely do that. And we are almost home. Let's pop our parachutes. We are at 3,000, 2,000 meters away from the surface. And these 3 parachutes should be sufficient to slow us down. Yep, everything is perfect. Less than 100 meters. Gemini is a bit concerned. That is a problem. But we safely land. So let's do the little EVA, take a dirt sample, EVA report, and plant a flag. Duna, Ike, and home again, or back again. All we have to do now is recover the vessel. First we're going to recover the Kerbal node, and then we're going to recover the capsule itself. Of course, science on Kerbal doesn't give us too much science, but recovering the capsule should give us a lot. Let's do that. Recover. And we got 1000 science. Awesome. In our next episode, we're going to spend it and launch further missions. But for now, thank you all for watching. Remember to like, dislike, and comment this video in the section below. My name is Darlock, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.